Okay, so we got several things that we gotta talk about right now. All right, number one, I got the first piece of what is gonna be the setup. You guys will slowly start seeing that sometime next video. I will start implementing a piece that I'm excited to put up. Man, I'm hyped. Number two, we've reached not just 100 subscribers, but we have reached 103 subscribers. And our milestone was 100 by next week. What a perfect time to complete that first milestone. So, thank you to those final three that were like, fuck yeah, I want to see more of this dude. That's awesome. It's just funny because I was just like, I'll give it a year before I get like 100. Been less than 2 months, man. We hit that first milestone. I'm very excited to build from there. So, thank you. Genuinely, that's super awesome. Now, with that sappy shit out of the way, I'm here to talk to you guys about a good one. It was a good one. It was creature feature as a motherfucker. And I am happy to say it is a really fun watch for the weekend if you're looking for something to watch at home but you don't want to leave to the theaters. I have one for you on Netflix that just came out called Thrash. This movie being fun makes sense because the director of this, Tommy Orcola, has made two movies that I enjoyed to no end, and I also recommend for you guys to watch if you have access to them. Violent Night, the David Harbour, John Wick, Santa Claus action comedy that was so good and so fun and so ridiculous, and The Trip. Now, The Trip is a funny story. It's a movie that is actually coming out again as a remake with Samara Weaving called Over Your Dead Body, which looks fantastic. And I'm very excited to see it. Word of mouth from South by Southwest, I believe, has been phenomenal. I'm very excited to see this film. But it is a remake from a movie that isn't getting promoted as the original, and it's very surprising because you should absolutely watch the original. The original was such a bloody, shocking, fun, good time about a couple that hates each other secretly and are planning to kill one another, but then another couple intervenes and it turns into a madhouse action slasher comedy. It's ridiculous. So this guy's filmography, at least a couple of, he's also done Dead Snow and Dead Snow 2, which I've watched the second and I really enjoyed, and it's a over the top, very hyper stylized Nazi zombies movie that is ridiculous as it sounds. Also recommend. But this guy's filmography for the most part is good, if not great. I haven't seen everything he's made, so I can't say if everything else has that level of quality, but what I just mentioned are some standout movies that are a insane good time. So Thrash is no different. It calls back to crazy movies like Deep Blue Sea and Crawl. Now, if those movies don't paint a picture, I'll give you a synopsis. It's North Carolina, or I believe South Carolina, and there is a hurricane, Hurricane Henry, Category 5, coming in and destroying the town completely. And with it, it carries sharks. Sharks are just in this fucking flooded town, running amok, eating everything with a pulse. And that's the story, man. It's an hour and 26 minutes. It is not trying to be deeper than that. And it fully commits to the lunatic, insane premise of sharks running amok, doing shark things on a feral level that is just ridiculous to watch and so fun. If this sounds a lot like Crawl, it's because the whole time I was watching it, I was also thinking this could just be Crawl 2. We take out the crocodiles or the alligators and we put sharks. Now, even though you can compare this to Deep Blue Sea and Crawl, it still very much stands on its own two fins. That was horrible. All of this happens because there is a meat truck that gets pushed by the hurricane into a statue. The meat truck cracks open, and all the blood from the meat inside fills the flooded town. And we all know how sharks love blood, and so that attracts them. And they're like they're like the baby sharks. They're little mini sharks, but they are fucking feral. They're the children. You know the mom's gonna pop up later. And what they do with the setup of this, see, at first I was a little worried. The first 15 to 20 minutes was just setup, right? The hurricane comes in, and I couldn't help but go like, yeah, the characters might be paper thin, or they're just there to die. And the hurricane stuff was like, oh, we've seen this like 1,000 times, literally in the movie Crawl. So I wasn't like super crazy about watching. I was like, let's just sit there and wait what it comes up with. When we get past the initial, like, you know, the hurricane pushing the ocean water through the town and flooding it, once we get there, this movie goes into high gear with some of the situations that we put our characters in. One of our characters is afraid of going outside because of having lost their mother. And so she deals from panic attacks anytime she steps outside. Imagine having your inside turn into a giant shark tank, and then the hurricane's outside. It's not a good time, no matter if you're inside or outside. And then another character is about to, of course, give birth at the worst fucking time. Think A Quiet Place Part 1, where Emily Blunt's character is about to give birth in a basement while the alien is just sniffing it out. This movie takes bits and pieces from other creature features, and it puts it into a tight, compact, hour and 26-minute long movie that I was worried would not pull off the fun that I was looking for. But this movie over-delivered with even the characters. These two characters at first seem typical horror movie characters, but by the second act, they're doing things that are genuinely smart. They're using elements of science and marine biology to outsmart these sharks that are feral. The main character doesn't have to have a reason for being resourceful. She just is. She's just on a different playing field than everybody else, and it made it so easy to root for her because every 5 minutes she's doing something that I'm like, yo, dead ass, that's really good writing. Like, that is impressive how you came up with this whether makeshift tool that could help you get around this situation, or the way that she, in a very elaborate and standout sequence in the film, she uses vibrations that she's created using something and a couple bags, and she throws it across the water to get to another point, and these vibrations attract the sharks, and she tries to maintain her composure as she's walking through this shallow water, noticing these bags getting sucked down by the sharks. It was such a crazy scene because you could tell that they sat down and really thought about how the scene is going to play out, how we're going to get around and create tension while making sure that our character gets through in a you know, just by an ass hair. It was just really good. The pregnant woman, the other lead character who is pregnant, the stuff with her and the baby, extremely nerve-wracking. And, you know, it gets gnarly. It doesn't stop at her just being pregnant at the worst times. There is a set piece where she is having the baby under the worst fucking conditions, where she has to worry about claustrophobia while giving birth to the baby, making sure the baby doesn't drown, making sure the sharks don't smell the blood coming out her body. They thought of the most creative ways that they could of creating interesting scenarios between the sharks and the main characters. The sharks are feral. They eat everything. They don't... What I like here is most movies try to leave sharks to the imagination. Not here, dude. We know what sharks look like. And the sharks look good. The sharks look fantastic. So a lot of the time, you're seeing exactly what the sharks are doing to the human body, and they do not spare a second. There is one shot where a shark literally bites someone's skull and it just blows up as it's amazing practical effects. It was really good. Gore effects were fucking 10 out of 10, and the scenarios that our characters were in, 10 out of 10. Overall, there's not much to say about this movie because this movie literally is just Deep Blue Sea meets Crawl, but it's all the best elements of those movies in a tight hour and 26-minute long feature. There's other set of characters as well. 3 kids who are adopted by a shit crew of parents who are just adopting them for the state checks. And they get their comeuppance, and it's so satisfying. it's just, and you see it coming. It's just fun to see how it happens. You root for these kids, you root for the main characters. I was really excited that I actually had I didn't just want them to die, but I wanted to see death. And I got everything I wanted from this short, tight creature feature. It really has no weaknesses if you just know that, it is a turn your brain off, even though there are smart moments, and enjoy the lunacy and the ludicrous situations that all these characters find themselves in. It's a great time. Practical effects are good, gore effects are awesome, runtime is perfect, and we have a really good conclusion with a standout shot involving the mother shark. And that didn't even go the way I planned or thought it would go. It turned into something else. I was like, man, I'm glad they did that. That was really cool. They sort of they just they knew what I would think, and they completely just said, nah, we got something better, and they did that. So overall, if you're looking for something fun to watch at home, this has a full recommend from me. I enjoyed it, so I think you might too. That's it for this review. Thank you for listening, and as always, real quick, don't forget to go over to Cosmic Controller. I started uploading there again as I finally figured out all the technical issues that I had going on. So we have gameplay part 1 of The Occultist. If you're interested in horror playthroughs, go show that channel some love. And if you want to just talk to me personally or follow me a little bit more, I do have an Instagram, Cosmic Frame 1331. Hit me up. Let's talk. Let's chat movies, man. I enjoy talking to you guys in the comment section. So, and that's it. Anyway, as always, I will see you at the movies.